So what I'm trying to learn is the feeling of this, and it feels like when you say that there's a dimensionality to going general, a fullness, a breadth, and you can feel that. And when you go to a specific, it becomes kind of pointed and narrow and without a lot of frame to hang it on.
Well, if you start general, we said earlier, and this is really a good conversation to have here, we said earlier that most humans would rather be specific and negative than general and feeling good. And the reason is because general doesn't feel like it has enough meat to it. General feels too general. General feels, but what we want you to understand is that if you can just play the general game for 68 seconds, then specifics will begin to fill in. And if you start general and allow the specifics to fill in, and as long as they're feeling good, let them keep coming, but you can feel it. When it turns into something that doesn't feel good, then start back into that general place. So what if for 68 seconds you find the general feeling of fun, and then fun things start to flow to you, and then you think, oh, that would cost too much money, or oh, it's too much to organize, or and so you start contributing thoughts that cause resistance. Now you want to start over again. You want to go back to the general again. And as it fills in again, you'll begin to notice what trends of thoughts are problematic for you. You can begin to identify where the specifics begin to turn to the negative. And then you can find a more general approach to that specific. So, for example, let's say that you've been on the fun, and you know what fun feels like, but just sitting there and saying fun isn't that much fun. But you know what it means. Fun means laughing. It means spontaneous laughing. It means usually being with other people who are also having fun. It means a collaborative participation, not just one funny person, but lots of funny person, everybody having good timing in the mix, that burst of laughter, lots of spit takes where people have stuff in their mouth that they have a hard time keeping in their mouth because there are so many surprising things that are happening. And maybe that thought reminds you of a recent spit take that got all over you that really wasn't that funny to you. Well, now you've become too specific. So now you have something that you could go be general about. So now you take the most general approach to that thing that felt uncomfortable and you start again. So then you start again. It's so much fun when people are really having fun. And I really like to catch people off guard. I really like it when the laughter just comes out of them. They didn't really see it coming. I really like that really good timing. And now you've sort of worked your way through it. You see what we're getting at? You just start again and start again. And what you will begin to discover is you can have such pleasure in your own mind, because it's like establishing a vibration that just yields to you things that match it. And meanwhile, the productive, efficient, want to learn and teach part of you is working the bugs out of the vibration as well. And that's a big part of your vibrational grid. You know that, don't you?
I do.
A big part of your vibrational grid, because you are a teacher to the very core of your being. And so a very big part of your vibrational grid is to understand it. You said, I want to learn. We're sitting here having a conversation and you said, I want to learn. And the reason you want to learn is because you want to teach, you see. And you teach through the clarity of your example. So now you can say, I want to learn. Start there and that. And what does learning mean? I want to know is what you mean. I want to know. I don't really care about learning. I want to know. No, I like to learn. I like to work the bug. You said, I want to learn. You didn't say, I want to know. Because knowing is one thing, but learning is another. Because when you've learned it, you know the process that you learned it. And when you've learned it consciously, now you can teach it, you see. So you don't just want to know. You want to know how you came to know. You want to know how you learned. You want to be in the vibrational place where you can assist others in knowing what you know. That's a big piece of it. That's a big thing that just happened there.
That's perfect. I have two incredible opportunities, best gifts ever, to do what I do best. And that's what I want to know, is how to learn as I do them, and how to bring to those two things what I do best, which is to hold the general ground of being and let the people who do the details step into that, and together we can make something happen that's never happened.
So you paint a general scenario, and you fast forward to the outcome that you want, and you hold the space really well. And then, as our friend says, you begin to get into the specifics of it. And as you begin to get into the specifics of it, you start feeling the tension of the action that seems to be required. Well, now you're getting more specific. So then you take the precise point where the action starts to pinch you a little bit, where the specifics start to pinch you, and you go as general as you can go on that specific point. And just work your way back through that again. Are you following? That's really good.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's absolutely perfect.
And so, are you ever going to establish a vibrational grid that will serve you forevermore? Not ever. It's always a work in progress. It's always, here I am, this is my environment, this is my point of attraction, this is what is gathered around me. It's sort of like showing up as an artist, and here are the materials on the table. What are you going to make with it? There's a cooking show Esther likes. They put the most strange things in the box, and then they say, make something that we'll really like out of that. And Esther says, really? None of those things even go together. But these chefs have a way of knowing what the components are and figuring out how to do something so interesting. And that's really what all of you want to do in your life experience. That's really what you want to do. You don't want the perfect components to be delivered. Watch the kids. You give them an easy puzzle to put together. They don't want it. They don't want what's easy. They want what's interesting. And isn't what's interesting things that you haven't thought about before? Don't you want to sort of put it together and see how it feels, and then try this and see how it feels, and then try this and see how it feels, and then have a triumphant moment where you know you got it just right, and then sort of regroup and reestablish your grid and then start again? Isn't that what it's all about all the time?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It is.